Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and I hope you're all having fantastic Friday. We are, of course, coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in the wonderful O'Hare campus. The sun is out. It is hot. But as you can see, I'm staying nice and cool up in here. As we, of course, have another fantastic show for you all, ladies and gentlemen, as always, too. You guys can find myself. I'm at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter and, of course, Boom Crew Captain on Instagram. And in the back, we have our boys, No Gimmicks, Nick Johnson and Scotty Kiefer themselves chilling with us once again. Guys, how you doing back there?
Doing good. You know, just talking about some work stuff back here and boring you to death.
Stocks and bonds? Yeah? Is that how you're doing it?
No, excited to do the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Obviously, it's nice to kind of get more consistent on this. So, again, everybody, appreciate it. If you guys want to check out any more of our show, you guys can find us, obviously, YouTube. And I've just found out that apparently we haven't been going live on Twitch for like a month almost. And I guess something's been going on with the Twitch. I'll look into that. But obviously, if you want to follow us, we are at youtube.com/XBombSports right now live. Again, it's twitch.tv/XBombSports. I'll fix that and work on that in the future. We're going live every Mondays, again, right now on the back burners. We might be coming back to it, but I will let you guys know when that comes up to date. But Fridays, for sure, we're trying to stay consistent on that. 1:30 p.m. Central Time. We are going live with myself, No Gimmicks, Nick Johnson, and, of course, Scotty Kiefer, and whoever else is going to be chilling with us every once in a while. Obviously, too, make sure to follow us on the social media at XBomb Sports, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, TikTok as well. And if you guys have any questions or comments, things like that, as you usually do, hit us up with xbsportsofficial@gmail.com, which is, of course, what we're going to get into today, because I have a collection of these two questions, which is why I want to put the central focus on these two. Because last week, we were going to talk about Bears training camp, and we kind of did because Scotty brought up a question. We kind of talked a little bit about it. But obviously, Micah Parsons came up as big news. Shout out to our boy, No Gimmicks, Nick Johnson, for breaking the news on that for us here on the show. And certainly, the update on that is, Micah's not in camp. He's not talking with Jerry, so he's still up for grabs, apparently, if somebody wants to make an offer. Of course, Jerry sounds, as usual, I'm confident this is just going to blow over. So we'll see where that leads. But a lot of people have been hitting me with the emails on Bears training camp and what's going on there. The first emails from last week were just kind of like, what are your thoughts so far on camp? It's, it's not looking too... Now, after this week, it's been an outpour of conspiracy theories and mixed energy of what's going on with the offense. Why is it looking so, off? What's happening there? Ben Johnson's yelling at everybody. Caleb apparently is off course. Meanwhile, Tyson Bagent is so in tune with the offense. What's happening there? And I've read almost every email I possibly can to this point that I can find about what people are thinking about the Bears. I've read your theories. I've heard what you have to say. Here's what I'm going to go as the base answer for is breathe and relax, okay? First and foremost, all right? Let me, if I may, we're making this quick, but I'm going to just quick tell story for everybody, and I kind of want to use this as like the metaphor for the Bears training camp, okay, if I can. So when I was growing up, touchscreen phones became a thing, and for myself, I didn't get one until senior year of high school. Wasn't an iPhone. It was one of those kind of cheaper ones. Slowly but surely upgraded my phone till now. I got kind of one more that's a little bit more up to date, right? Cool, fine, whatever. My parents, from an older generation, have been very reluctant to get touchscreen phones for the longest time until there came a point where there was no longer a barrier between them and touchscreen. That was the only cell phones you could get. Their flip phones with buttons, they were gone. So they had to get these new phones, right? So they got them about 3-4 years ago. I had to sit with them for like 2 hours plus teaching them how to use the phone, and it was a lot of, okay, hold on, wait, stop pressing button, okay, stop, okay, enough, stop. It gets frustrating because they don't know exactly how they work. They're asking a lot of questions. I know how it works. I've seen how it works. I've been working with it a long time, they're getting their first. It's their first time doing it, right? That's how it is. But after about 2-3 weeks, they kind of got a better understanding of how it works. After a little over a month, they understood how the phone worked perfectly. It's plain and simple. They asked a few questions here and there, and those questions certainly would kind of be like, okay, hold on. But they come so infrequently now that it's not really a problem anymore, right? It's not a thing. And the metaphor for this is take out parents, put in bears. Now take me out of it and put in Ben Johnson and probably / Ryan Poles, let's say. And it's the same exact thing, right? This team for over 100 years, culture, sorry, Nick, I know you hit that word, identity has been defense, 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 establish the run, trickle in a few passes. For the first time ever, they have a coach with an offense that is 21st century looking at the helm that seems to know what the heck he's doing. Now, they've tried this before in the past, obviously, yes. They brought in Mike Martz years ago. That didn't work because he was clashing with head coach. They tried the Mark Trestman thing. He wasn't very competent to be head coach, and he had a very terrible defense. I will give him a little bit of slack on that. That defense was awful. You tried the Matt Nagy thing. You didn't have the quarterback. He didn't really have the management skills, and he also kind of got shoehorned in with a GM that was just very bad at drafting, clearly, right? So my point is this. The Bears have always been about this is how we do things, right? Their grandpa in the retirement home basically saying, I like things the way I like my things. And now you finally say your TV burned out, your radio stopped working, your phone with the cord is no longer connected, like everything has stopped. We need to update. And unfortunately, it's now up to Ben Johnson to teach Grandpa Chicago Bear exactly how this works. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be biting the finger, biting the hand, pulling the hair, stomping on the hat. There's going to be moments of wild frustration. But can you blame him? Can you blame anybody for being frustrated on that kind of side? Right? But it's not the Bears' fault. It's not a problem. Everyone's in this for the first time together. Ben Johnson's a brand new head coach with a quarterback that just went through one head coach and an offense and now gets a new head coach with another offense. He's got new weapons, a new offensive line. Heck, the defense is now going to be different. They went from a 3-4 to now a 4-3. I know that's something they're used to, but still, it's another adjustment that everybody has to make. Folks, breathe, relax, chill out. This is part of training camp. Scotty said it last week. How much of training camp are you really buying into? He asked the question. I said for me, a lot of it just goes down to who are the unknown guys that we're trying to feed, right? Who are those guys that we're trying to see make the team? Because I'll tell you right now, anybody buying into this idea that Tyson Bagent will take over for Caleb if he starts playing bad, you're out of your mind. I don't know where in the book it says bench the number 1 overall pick in year 2 for a backup quarterback that came undrafted who I know everybody likes the kid because he's got good energy and he's a good locker room dude and he's a decent kind of athlete, but he's got a pop gun arm. Like he got taken out because Nate Peterman could throw a farther football. That kind of says it all for me. I don't know about you. He's a gamer. Sure, he's a gamer, but what was it, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for his career thus far? I mean, yeah, more time, sure, maybe he gets better, but I don't know. It doesn't read to me like a starting quarterback necessarily. Folks, they are just in the moment of finally becoming a 21st century team. They're finally there. They're not at the same level as Kansas City or Buffalo or any of these other teams that are going to be going to the playoffs on a consecutive level. which is why I say temper expectations. But, guys, I promise you, if you give it some time, if you let them work, which they have time together, the process, and I know the 76ers ruined that word, but the process will become progress, and from progress will be success. That's at least how I've seen this whole thing work out before. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, you guys are certainly Bears fans. You're more in tune probably with what's being said. I've gotten all the messages about it. Where do you guys stand at with what you've seen from the Bears? Did my analogy or metaphor even work in that kind of sense? I don't know.
No, I think it did. Just my question is, how many arm wrestling championships does Caleb Williams' dad have? just want to throw that out there. No, I'm with you in the overreaction game. Obviously, with any sort of remnants of football coming out, haven't had anything basically since February. So anything to react to is what people are going to react to. And as you know, fans, the internet itself are going to overreact to anything and everything. My biggest thing is the reporters that are there are telling me exactly kind of what you're saying, relax. This is still a process, like where you're going to see them getting involved. And I see all the quote unquote, and people that reporters or sports analysts that aren't there telling you to overreact and Caleb isn't ready and they messed up. They should have took Jaden Daniels, everything else in between. So I kind of, like I said, I chalk up to that. Just relax, shut up. And the fact that Caleb isn't throwing balls into a net the most accurately, that immediately tells you that tells you everything about his upcoming season. So no, it shouldn't tell you that. So stop overreacting.
Yeah, because the thing about that video is they didn't show the probably 4 other times he did that drill where he hit all 3. You know, like, how do you know that's not the case?
Right.
Where they just show the one video where he didn't hit any. I mean, I feel like I've looked at his press conferences, pretty tight, him and Ben Johnson mostly, and then catch clips of everyone else. Caleb's saying about everything right, I would say. He's acting like his development is more of a priority, which sounds bad compared to last year where his coach wouldn't talk him through stuff. Seems like this year is very different, and they're really looking into his development. He looks forward to trying to hit these standards that they put him up to, and they're pretty high standards too. I mean, we've heard reports saying that they want to put him into 70% completion, which is tough in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's above average. That's a lot. And for a second-year quarterback, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But his ability that he's showing in training camp yesterday he was just interviewed, and he had to reflect on a play from like 2 days ago, completely broke down exactly what they were trying to do, exactly what went wrong, and exactly what he needs to do to change it. That's the stuff you need to look forward to in a quarterback. And I'm going to go see him on Sunday. I don't know if he's even going to play that much, but I will look at what he's doing. I don't even know if he is playing. But, I mean, it's just that isn't even the time to look at his development, because remember the Bills game from last year where he threw for like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yep.
But look at the season he had. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't up to those standards.
He broke every rookie record for a Bears quarterback in the history of the team.
Yeah.
Like the measurement. No, you're right. The measurables of what we've seen from Caleb Williams so far in practice with training camp and all that stuff, it shouldn't even suffice to the same level. I
mean, from what we know, he did beat the Packers. I think that's the only standard we really care about.
That's no, and listen, that should count for something too, right? You have had moments of winning football being played by Caleb Williams and the Bears as a whole.
3 offensive coordinators, 2 head coaches, and you were finished 5th in all time in Bears passing as a passing season. I think there's some upside here.
100%. No, and I understand a lot of the focus is going to go to this kid, right? Because he already came in with a lot of heat, a lot of people obviously judging him for this, for that, or for the other. I'm not going to go through that list because it's ridiculous for us to even go down that road, because no matter what, he is the quarterback. For me, and I think a lot of others, he has proven to some degree skill-wise he can get the job done. It's now going to be a matter of, well, can those skills plus the rest of the team translate into wins? That is something that we still have to see. And with a new coach, new coaching staff, right, and new players at different positions now, you have to see if everybody can gel together, have camaraderie, have a good locker room, and boom, that's going to start to see wins generate one after the next after the next. In preseason games, if he doesn't play in this preseason game against the Miami Dolphins to start it, people shouldn't get upset. He's going to get a lot more reps in practice. That's how it's going to go. He's watching film, like Scotty said. He's diagramming plays already right in front of the eyes of the reporters for us all to see in press conferences. What's the problem? He clearly understands what he's getting asked to do by Ben Johnson. Is it going to be perfect right away? No. But this is why Ben Johnson has to sit down with the Bears and say, okay, here's the offense. I know you want to push a lot of buttons on it, but let's just focus on the main ones here, get these right, and then we'll start to go through the rest. That's what you have to do. That's what I did with my parents and their phone. How do I get to my contacts? How do I pull up the phones for the phone number? How do I text? Okay, how do I check my email? Okay, done. Now let's go to the rest. That's what Ben Johnson and this coaching staff have to do for the Bears. Take it step by step. Take it one by one. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The expectations of being division champions or even going to a playoff should be, they can be there. If you want, fine, you can have them. But I would temper them as much as you can and say this. Even if they have a losing season, if the offense shows progress, if the quarterback puts up numbers that would suffice any NFL team out there, and the defense is somewhere ranked in that top range as well, what's the problem? If the team feels like it took a step, even though the wins may not be there as you want, and a playoff may not be there like you want, what's the issue? What's the issue? Because let's not forget where Ben Johnson's coming from. Dan Campbell, what was it, 2-3 straight seasons of losing records, right? Before they ever got into that position to be a playoff team. And now they're one of the favorites to possibly go back to the playoffs, go to the NFC Championship, and maybe even make the Super Bowl. Going to be tough, obviously, with the Eagles, but they're still one of the top teams in the NFC. It's hard to take it away from them. This is nothing new. He's used to this. He's seen this. He's been through this. And it's not like he's shaking away Caleb Williams being like, that's not my quarterback. They're saying all the right things, sure, but right now, as it stands, Ben Johnson chose Chicago. He wanted to be with the Bears. He made that very clear years ago that he was interested in this job. So he's not going anywhere. Caleb's not going anywhere. He clearly believes that this is a kid who can get it done at quarterback. He clearly thinks that this team is talented enough. It's just a matter of everybody's got to get on the same page. Everybody's got to learn. And once they've learned it, it'll start to translate from process to progress to success. Follow that map. It may take a while, but eventually everybody can get there. Everybody can. Except for the Cleveland Browns. I don't know how to fix them. They're terrible. And the Jets. I don't know how to fix them either. But that's not my problem. That's New York and Cleveland's problem. All right. Obviously, folks, let us know what you thought about the Bears. What do you think about their situation? You've already kind of let me know, but would you agree? Can we give them a little bit of time? Do we have to make a judgment call before they've even taken a snap in a preseason game? Can we give them a bit of a break? Comment down below. Let us know. We want to hear from you guys. All right, the last thing, really, I should say, the next and last thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of you guys obviously have been emailing, talking about college football. You've been asking me about your favorite teams, your ideas about what teams you want to see for college football, all that stuff. And look, the AP polls haven't come out yet, which are the ones that I mainly am drawn to. I've got an article already written for my blog, which I'm bringing it back, folks. AJ Valentin, Spitting Out Sports. Check that out. That's spittingOutsports.com. Check that out. It'll be coming out probably, if not sometime this weekend, then probably next week, like on Monday. But I'm basically doing a buy or sell for a lot of these teams that are already in the coaches poll. And when the AP poll drops, I'll probably do something maybe for them as well, too, on it. But a lot of you guys have been asking about how do you think my team's going to do? How do you think this team's going to do? How do you think that team's going to do? Again, a lot of emails coming in that fashion. So I thought, all right, we got college football coming up here soon. Week 0 will be upon us, and it's going to be a heck of a week 0. I'm not going to go into week 0, but I just want to talk about, all right, let's just discuss what some predictions of what may happen from this college football season, okay? Let me just kind of drop a little bit of like what I think could come from this year, all right? So based off of what I've seen from looking at the coaches poll, and I'm not going to read through every coaches poll, but I already kind of dropped in and looked at it, and I said, okay, the top 6 teams right off the bat. I've got Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Clemson. That's your top 6 teams, right? Right off the top, I will say Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, and Clemson are teams that I would 100% believe can make the college football playoff. Georgia and Notre Dame, I think, are going to struggle a little bit more.
I think you're going to find out really quick on
Yes.
those top 2. That week 1 game is going to be fantastic.
And you have 2 teams who, and spoiler alert for the article, but on one level in Texas, you've got Arch Manning making his first ever start as the full-time Texas quarterback. Ohio State has still not made a decision on who their starting quarterback is. I think it's going to be Julian Sayin, and he seems to be pretty good. They've got the God receiver in Jeremiah Smith. They've lost a lot of talent, but they'll revamp. Texas, the same thing. They lost talent, but they always find a way to be able to fill some guys in. There's opportunity there. Penn State could have the best roster by the season's end. But it really comes down to, can James Franklin make big plays? Georgia, I think Gunnar Stockton's a better quarterback than Carson Beck. I know that might be crazy to say, but your best weapon, Dylan Bell's your most experienced guy. Zachariah Branch just transferred from USC. Their defense lost some very good players, but they still have a good defense, and Kirby Smart's a good coach, obviously. But right now, the weapon you have with the most experience is your running back, Nate Frazier. And you lost all but one of your starters on the offensive line. I don't know about that. I don't have a lot of confidence that Notre Dame will make the right choice at quarterback. In fact, if anything, I feel like Marcus Freeman might go, we're going to play 2 quarterbacks. I really do not believe he would be like on that level. But CJ Carr, he's like Jimmy Clausen. Kevin Minchie, he's kind of a clone of what Riley Leonard was. Which guy do you go with? Minchie fits the offense more, but Carr could be the more successful quarterback. Clemson feels like a team that is just stacked to the teeth, right? Klubnik could be a top 10 pick. Peter Woods feels like another Ndamukong Suh. You got TJ Parker, who feels like another like Chase Young type of guy. This is for college, by the way. Talent is there. They don't really have a lot of holes. Outside of the league, outside of those top 6, Oregon, I wouldn't buy into. Bama, I'm a little suspect on. New quarterback. I don't really trust Ty Simpson. He's like a cheaper version of Mac Jones, and they don't really have, outside of Ryan Williams, they don't really have that wide receiver that I think can make a true difference. And I like Ryan Williams. I just think they need another wideout that can kind of complement him. So maybe somebody will emerge. I don't know. I'm not read too much into Alabama and what's going on there. I'm an LSU fan. Listen, Garrett Nussmeier just had this whole situation where they thought he tore his ACL. Turns out it's just tendonitis in his knee. Still doesn't make me feel any more confident. Yeah. I don't like that at all. But I don't know if they can win the national championship because I still have to see that defense. Whit Weeks, their best linebacker, got hurt. Harold Perkins still has to get back from his injury. I don't know if they have the right corners. They got a very young defense. There's a lot on the line there. In Miami, Arizona, Illinois, South Carolina, Michigan, right off the bat, of those teams, I guess Illinois and South Carolina would be my mainstays to kind of be teams that might be able to make the playoff. Michigan.
Definitely South Carolina, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say they're probably the top of that bunch.
Yeah.
That's like first out, I guess.
That works.
Illinois is always suspect when they get big because how much is it? How good are they really?
They have a lot of vets, but their problem
Yeah.
is that it's just I don't know if Altmaier with these new wide receivers. I mean, is everybody there that they need to finally get over the hump?
They got to get over. They got to get on the same page quick.
Absolutely.
Are they there yet?
Yes. Michigan's got to listen. I was big on Underwood. Okay, yes, Bryce Underwood. He's starting right away for Michigan. It's a lot of pressure. Number one, right? He got paid a lot of money. Even though the Ohio State game is in Ann Arbor, freshman quarterback, if he's not been playing well by that point, could be a lot. Even if he's playing well, though, that's a lot of pressure. It all kind of depends where Ohio State is at that point. I think Arizona State could be suspect. Leave It talks a big game. I like Jordan Tyson as a wide receiver. He is very talented. I just don't know if Arizona State has all the components there to say, yeah, we're definitely in the college football. Like, I don't know. Can they win the conference? Can they do it again? Can they put themselves? Cam Scatterboo is gone. Your workhorse is gone. Now it goes to your quarterback and your wide receiver to kind of carry that team. Can they do it? I don't know. Or can you find another Cam Scatterboo? That's going to be hard to do. I mean, other teams on this list, too, obviously, you got Ole Miss. I never count them out. I never count them out, but at the same time, who's the quarterback? I like Austin Simmons a lot, but is that going to be enough? Do they have the receivers? Do they have the offensive line? The defense feels like they got a little bit of extra juice. I don't know if it's enough.
They always seem like they're on that bubble of the SEC.
Oh, of course.
They can't push themselves to the top part of the SEC to take down the bigger teams like Bama and Georgia. And they do. Every once in a while, they'll take them down, but they never – then right after they beat them, they'll lose to some like even lower than like Vanderbilt.
Right.
Or they'll lose to some like really low team, and it's like, really? You guys just took down Bama and you just lost to TCU? Like, really?
Jeez. Yeah, really putting one there on TCU like they're like one of the worst of the worst.
Quarterback. What do you want me to say?
Jeez.
You see that this week?
I did
they
see
photoshopped him on a furry photo to think that Josh Hoover was a furry.
You know that's when you know college football is upon us. There.
Good job, Baylor fans.
Yeah, SMU, another one. They're borderline. I like their quarterback Jennings. But a lot of their talent, again, just kind of has been zapped from the draft. Can they replenish those guys? Can they replace them? It's going to be a hard fill. And then it's got Scotty's team for Florida. I mean, I think DJ Lagway takes that great step. The issue that I have with Florida, though, and it's not an indictment on them in any kind of way other than it's just – they need these young recruits to step up, like L.J. McCray, Dallas Wilson. These guys need to be the ones that get into those positions and own it. Like, they need to own it in order. I don't know if they're going to make the college football playoff. I think they're at least another year away from getting some transfers, getting another recruiting class in there, and it's looking like they can get another strong class in there again. I'll give them that. It feels like a team that can go 9-3, 10-2. Compete for a chance to be in the playoffs, maybe make the SEC title depending on how things happen in the SEC. It's going to be a combat situation in there. It's going to be a real world war going on in the SEC this year. But I don't know, Scotty, I'm not trying to get your hopes too high up and dash them or anything like that. I'm just saying from my heart of heart, it feels like a team that can win. I just don't know if they can win enough to get in that position.
No, can I be honest? Like,
go for it.
I actually have zero problems with their roster at all. I mean, obviously, some guys need to come out and perform, but like that's not really that big of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is that schedule is an absolute gauntlet.
Yeah.
And I am like every single Saturday, I'm gonna be pulling teeth out, and it's gonna be a rough roller coaster where they'll have a loss to a top team, but it will feel like the season's completely over.
Yeah,
that's the kind of season that they could have based on how many top 25 teams and powerhouses they're playing this year. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And for a team like Florida, this is not the year you want that.
Well, I guess
Who? Kentucky doesn't.
Kentucky has a rough schedule.
yes,
So Bama, it's like I think Bama week 1.
yeah.
Yeah, Bama
Kinda
week
right off the
1.
bat for
Yeah,
Kentucky.
Georgia later down the line in February. Just you're hitting everything. Tennessee, you're hitting all the big SEC teams. So yeah, I think the line's at 4.5. I might take the under.
Florida plays 7 teams in the top 25 to start the season.
Yeah. Yeah,
And throughout the year, they might add on 1 or 2 more.
yeah. It's an insane schedule for anybody. Obviously, yeah, for the Kentucky Wildcats, for Nick's team out there. I mean, there's a chance. They are always good for a couple upsets or 2 potentially. I mean, they almost did it on Georgia. They almost did. So it's just going to be tough when your 2 best defenders obviously did hit the NFL, and I can't blame them. I mean, those guys are talents for sure. They're going to help Buffalo, but yeah, Florida, it's a fight. After them, you got Tennessee. I don't think Nico Iamaleava leaving is going to be that big of an impact on them because Joey Aguilar is a fine quarterback. It's just you did lose a lot of talent on the outside at wide receiver. Your defense took some hits. Now you've got, I think, maybe the top cornerback potentially in college football in McCoy. So you're going to have to, I think, lay more on your defense to kind of win you games. But again, it's SEC. It's a tough one. Josh Heupel too. You know, again, with a lot of these coaches, Dabo Swinney, James Franklin, Josh Heupel, you get in these big games with these guys, and it becomes a situation where it's like 4th and 1, 4th and inches. Do you go for it? Do you punt it away? Do you go for the field goal? Do you go for the win? These guys sometimes make those choices where you go, geez, I don't know. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, it better work. If you're going for it, it better work. If you're going to kick the field goal, better hit it. So that's where I'm at. Indiana, Kansas State, Iowa State, and A&M. All of those teams I have suspicions on. I know Indiana, Signetti, got a new quarterback in Mendoza. He's good. I just don't know about his surrounding cast. Kansas State could surprise, but Avery Johnson's going to have to play perfect.
I was going to say Kansas State is probably maybe the most solid out of that bunch. I mean, Avery Johnson, I don't think he has to play perfect. It's more of like, can the defense step up to catch up to him? Because I think he's kind of a staple for that team and will lead that team places. But how much is the defense going to be a burden on him and make him have to overplay?
Right.
I think if they figure out the defense problem, even if they don't even have to be lights out on defense. They just need to be somewhat stable to where Avery Johnson could literally play how he did last year and just be like, yeah, they'll end up winning by a touchdown or 2 in certain games. I think that they could definitely just be serviceable and get away with a lot, especially in a very open conference.
No, listen, if Avery Johnson, I mean, I saw somebody did email me that's a Kansas State fan, obviously from Manhattan, Kansas, and did say, do you think Avery Johnson's going to be Colin Klein 2.0? For those that don't know, Colin Klein was in that Heisman class with Manti Te'o and Johnny Manziel. Okay, he had like 16 passing touchdowns, but he had like 30 rushing touchdowns, and he was like a 6'6" quarterback that could run the ball. I still think you should have a documentary because of just how uniquely weird he was as a quarterback. And it was Kansas State. It's a team you don't really think about. I don't know if he can be on that level. If he can, I think Kansas State, though, can win the conference. I think they can. Absolutely. As they were last year. It kind of just goes to him, though, as a lot of these teams do. Again, kind of like piggybacking what we talked about with the Bears, quarterback kind of becomes the key for teams now more than ever. And he also, by the way, too, it's a long shot, but he's there for a Heisman pick if you want to take it. It's a long shot, but it's not impossible. The kid is talented, believe it or not. Yeah, Iowa State's just going to probably be middle of the road. They have guys. I just don't know how their season's going to end up because the Big 12 just got a little bit better in certain spots. And I don't trust you. I don't trust the Aggies. Like, quarterback doesn't feel fulfilled. Defense lost so much because now obviously Shamar Stewart isn't coming back, nor was he even apparently wanted back. They've lost a lot of pieces. I don't know where they're at. I don't know if Elko is the guy for them at head coach. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders. It just seems like that team is kind of in a dysfunctional, functioning movement, I guess. They're going forward, but it feels like they're kind of walking a little wonky. I don't know. It's a weird one. BYU, I can't ever get behind that. Texas Tech is just the hype from the recruiting. The money they're throwing around is nuts, though. They have crazy money coming out of that. You've got your AD or your GM, whoever he is, Blanchard, who's coming out saying, if you're offering a kid $100,000 or $200,000, I'm giving him $300,000 to $400,000 because that's how we do it. Well, damn. Okay. Message received. Yeah, you rule. Got it. I mean, you don't get a 5-star tackle and a 5-star edge rusher in next year's recruiting class probably for cheap. By the way, Felix Oho, the guy that got the tackle, $5.2 million over 3 years. I wish I was 6'6" and 300 pounds. I missed out on that gene pool. God. And last but not least is Boise State. Ashton Genty's gone. I don't trust them at all. Sorry. You know, it sounds silly. It's like, oh, what, they lose one player? He was their whole offense. Their quarterback is so-so. I don't know what to tell you. Unless they have another Ashton Genty waiting in the wings, and I haven't heard anything really coming from my people at Boise State, because the last guy that emailed me about Boise State, he went, yeah, look, I'm not really asking a question about Boise State. I just don't think we're really going to be that good this year. And that was it. That's a shout-out to my boy Tommy from Boise, Idaho. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could give you better news. Maybe they will find that magic again. Maybe they'll find that magic like they had with Kellen Moore. I don't know. Maybe. Possible. But there's other teams in here. Look, I will speak on just real quick, right? Just that the ones that got receiving votes, again, this is coach's poll. I think Oklahoma could have a chance to be a little bit more than what people are perceiving them to be in the SEC. Missouri has a chance, but things have to go wrong for other teams, I think, for them to have an opportunity. Louisville, USC, Utah, and Baylor, I think, are getting a little too much overhype. Iowa, I got to see pen to paper. Show me what you can do in the first 3 weeks, and let's talk. I got to see that they have an offense. I got to see it. Can Army pull off another great year? Maybe. It's tough. That's tough. But anything's possible. Can Tulane be that team? That's a difficult one, too. I don't know. That's a difficult one, too. Hey, can Colorado, what about them? You think they can do it? Can they have at least a winning season? Do they know who their starting quarterback is yet? Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it at all. Is it Salter? Is it Lewis? According to them, they think, I've heard everything that they have. Amarion Miller is apparently being compared to the next Jeremiah Smith. Let me say this right now. There is nobody that is Jeremiah Smith except for Jeremiah Smith. That kid should be the front runner for the Heisman first and foremost. Nobody should be touching that kid as a Heisman Trophy winner. If what he did last year is anything, yeah, not only should he be a Heisman Trophy winner, by the time he's a junior, that kid should be the number 1 overall pick. That's Randy Moss. That's Calvin Johnson. That's, even though he wasn't successful in the NFL, that's Michael Crabtree. That's that level of wide receiver. Okay, well, he had a decent career. Okay, I'm actually a big fan of Michael Crabtree.
See,
He's my favorite college football player of all time.
He had a successful career, my man.
Yeah, he did. I'm just saying, he wasn't a guy that you looked at and you went, man, how do you not take him, right? Although you can ask the Raiders that because they took, who was it again? Oh, yeah, Darius Hayward Bay. Shut up. Just stop. Just stop. Yeah. Little more on the throw out. Florida State. All bark, no bite. Andre Castellanos, I guarantee he's getting destroyed by Bama. I'm almost going to guarantee that. You are setting yourself up to get – he's going to go out of bounds and get somebody's going to hit him. He's going to get late hit. They're going to start aiming at you because you keep talking. Also, is he guaranteed the starting quarterback position? I don't even know. Somebody give me the insight on that, please. And last but not least, we love him. God, he's a wonder. They run off Pavia Power in Nashville with Vanderbilt. I don't know if they're going to pull off upsets again. Winning season? Maybe. Hey, maybe. I don't know if we're going to be sitting here saying, yeah, no, Vanderbilt's going for the national championship. I like his mentality that is kind of like, it's that or nothing. Sure, no problem. I can't. I love you, man. I do. I love you. I think it'd be great in Canada. You go to the UFL, 100%. Views will go up. Guaranteed. Because he's got the style points. I just can't see him going, well, maybe he can go to the NFL. I don't know. Lesser guys have had their shots, right? Lesser guys have had their shots. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, quick run through on the coaches poll, quick predictions. I mean, look, ultimately, if you're going to say real fast, because everyone was like, who do you think is going to win the national championship? Florida. Honestly, right now, I think I do have to ride with Texas. I know it's kind of a cop-out answer. If I have to pick a one, that would kind of be outside of that number one spot. Clemson, I don't think, is a bad pick. Not to get David's hopes up. The Lions, maybe? I know, don't hate me, David. I'm sorry.
I got two for you.
Please.
I'll take one strong one. Obviously, Texas is up there, but
yeah.
I'll take Penn State, actually. And then my kind of long shot, but also right there, I really like LSU.
I'm glad somebody could say it because I did not want to say it. I did not want to say it.
I do like LSU. I'm not just saying Penn State and LSU because of you and David.
Yeah.
Like, I legitimately do like LSU. I think they got a considerably favorite schedule in the SEC.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's an SEC schedule.
Right.
There's tough games. But they kind of lucked out a little bit compared to some other teams of Florida. But I do think LSU kind of lucked out with that, and that could play in their favor. I think when they play the tough teams are good timing because around that time they have good matchups.
I will say, to homer out a little bit if I can, be on that bias side, they did have the number one transfer class in the country, right? They got a lot of pieces for their defense. They got a lot of good I mean, I find it very hard to believe that DJ Pickett, this 5-star cornerback, is actually 6'5", but apparently he's 6'5". And I'm being told by my buddies down at LSU that I'm kind of friends with that they're like, yo, we're hearing everything that he's the next Stingley. I'm like, get out of here. He's not there's no way. The next Stingley, really? Stingley Jr. jumped in as a freshman and dominated top receivers from word go. I find that I find it hard to believe. But hey, if it's true, 20 interceptions. He's 6'5". Come on. How's he not? Guy can play point guard. By the way, can he play point guard? I'd love him in the Bulls, too. I mean, if he can be a Bear and a Bull, I think we'd appreciate that in Chicago. Not that we need any more guards, please. Yeah, it's a tough choice, Nick. I mean, I know college football. I know it's not maybe your MO, but as far as picking a champion, I know you're an odds man for a better. Are there any teams that stand out to you? They would be like, I want to put some money on that.
Just give me Archie. Give me Arch Manning. Just give me a little Archie every single week.
Did you hear the rumor about him? That came out about him? His would it be his grandpa or
Archie, the grandfather?
Arch, yeah.
Yeah, his grandpa said that he's not looking to come out of the draft next year.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that 100%.
Keep making NIL money. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to just say, I'm like, was he making $5 million?
What, so you can get obliterated on the Giants? Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, well,
Saints right
that's I mean, Archie.
Carry on the legacy, yeah.
Yeah.
Fans are trembling right now if he stays another year.
Well, I mean, listen, who knows better on how bad the Saints have been than the man who was with them when they were probably at their worst in Archie Manning?
I don't think that the Saints they're not smart enough to be dumb enough to tank. They're not going to do it. They're going to win. They're going to win games.
That's bad.
They're going to They're going to try and win games. They aren't going to. I think the Giants are going to
rumble their way into wins. That's how that.
Yeah, I think the Giants are probably going to end up with the number 1 pick.
That's the interesting thing is that I've seen it is really for a lot of favors as far as who's going to get Arch Manning. It seems to be the Saints are like the top one. I've now seen the Giants being there at second, and like they're not third, but they're in that top 5 is the Indianapolis Colts. All 3 teams that have had a Manning already are the 3 teams that are like in the top 5 favorite to get Arch Manning. The odd out is Cleveland. And I've heard every rumor that's gone around the room, and I'm sure everybody else has heard this, that, oh, yeah, they're looking at hiring Nick Saban, and then they're going to draft Arch Manning. And I thought, wow, that's a weird togetherness, but sure, let's put the college football coach who probably, I think, doesn't even want to be in the pros with the quarterback that won't have any help on that team because the line's old, the receivers are average, and the defense, while I think somewhat solid, could start to fall apart because now they are already missing a starting corner, I think Emerson, who's going to be out for a while. If not, I think maybe the whole season or something. I don't know. I mean, listen, there are other teams obviously in here that could vie for the national championship. Again, it's way too early on this one. We'll get more into it, obviously, as the season goes on. We'll have our pick sixes the week before week 0 because I'm going to be out of town for the last week of college football, unfortunately, so I won't be here. I'm going to be on vacation on a beach somewhere, so I'll be watching it probably from a beach somewhere. But we'll give our pick 6. We'll talk the games there. We'll give our picks and predictions for that one, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait. College football's back. The NFL is officially here. Preseason started yesterday. I feel so bad for Bilal Kone, who tore his ACL and MCL. I hope he does get better. I hope he still has a career, honestly, because that was bad. That was really bad. I didn't want to get in a full discussion on that. A lot of you guys were asking what I think about that. I think it's an unfortunate injury that it seems to be happening so much more. I don't know why that is, but ACLs and Achilles are tearing, it seems, left and right, and it's such a shame, honestly. But, folks, that's going to do it for us here on X-Bomb Sports. That's going to do the show here for everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, if you want to follow myself, you can follow me at The Fluffy Guru. You can also follow me at Boom Crew Captain on Twitter as well. If you guys want to follow me on the social media for sure. Catching any more of the show, like I said, the Twitch seems to be down. I'll figure that stuff out here in the future. But you guys can check us out on YouTube every Friday, 1 o'clock, 1:30 p.m. Central Time. We break down everything we can for sports, answering your questions here. Mondays are going to be TBD for the time being. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Hit us up on the social media at X-Bomb Sports, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Check us out on all that stuff. Our boy Frankie Olive Oil Oliveira, as I like to call him, he's going to be cutting up the clips, and we shout out to you, Frankie, for doing that for us, baby. And, of course, too, if you have any comments, questions, things like that, like you guys were flooding us in with, it's at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. And, hey, by the way, guys, if you're here on a Friday, by any chance, before our show, you guys should stop in and go check out our boys at Bad Karma Wrestling. That's right. You guys can find them. It's our boy in the back, No Gimmicks Nick Johnson, with our boy David Double D Dykstra. I cannot say enough how much you should go watch this show they just did today. Holy cow. You want to talk about some bad karma coming on the W? Boy, they brought the bad karma on this one. I mean, they threw everything, including the fridge, all over this place, man. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, I mean, you got the realness of this one, folks. I can't highlight it enough. That's Bad Karma Wrestling at the YouTube page for Bad Karma Wrestling. BK Dub. Find them on Twitter as well. BK Dub, folks. And obviously, I just want to point out, too, the Beast Mortos did not get his moment this week.
We'll have a Mortos minute next week. Don't worry.
Yes, I'm sure, of course. On top of that, too, as well, of course, Blow the Whistle. You guys can check them out every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays kind of seem to be right now kind of on the back burner for the time being. But you can check them out on Saturdays as well. 5 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken, 5 o'clock p.m., that is Central Time at WRMN. What's the numbers for them again, Nick?
WRMN 1410 a.m.
1410 a.m., yes. Make sure to go check them out live on the radio. It's going to be yourself, No Gimmicks?
Yeah,
be on
I'll
there?
be there. It'll be Frankie, Tyler, and Double D. I think we're doing we'll be doing an hour Blow the Whistle right into since the programming doesn't set up for an official Bears pregame on Sunday, we'll be doing the Bears, pregame eve Saturday night from 6 to 8 as well. So obviously, fans, questions, everyone else, call in whatever we'll be breaking down. The preseason games beforehand, all throughout the season. I'll be giving in my fantasy advice. Obviously, then Dykstra and I will also be tossing in our gambling takes throughout the week. So it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun throughout the next couple weeks.
Absolutely. Guys, make sure to check it out. It is the debut of the show. So please go support, go check out the boys. You know how they do. You know how we all do. We do fantastic work on here. Not to toot our own horn, but we're amazing at this. Definitely go check them out, guys. It's an awesome opportunity that they've been able to be given. As far as I'm not going to be able to make weekends, unfortunately, right now. At some point, I'd like to be able to, but I'm telling you right now, they are in good hands.
That phone line is always open.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, guys, definitely go. Give them a phone call. Hit them up with questions. Hit them up with comments. I'm going to be very in tune with listening to them for sure because I'm going to be driving around picking up some criminales. So, so I definitely highly recommend, guys. Again, WRNM 1410 AM. That is Blow the Whistle going live on the radio, folks. We're making big moves, ladies and gents. And with that, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. We love you. We appreciate you all. And we will see you guys next Friday for another fantastic show. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.